All right, and welcome to the special film and TV news. That's not technically is it film and TV, but rather the linear and cable TV that related to two things. There's a good news right here, and another was a bad news over UK. So let's start with the first one. The good news that MSNBC has officially changed to MS Now as a part with a split with Comcast now and now under the Comcast as well as the other cable channels known as Versant, led by Mark Lazarus, former Comcast executive. Now, if you don't know what's pretty much the MS Now is it's now calling My Source News Opinion Award. That name make no sense. Like it's pretty much like this is an argument, but like I don't know, MSNBC was pretty much the original owner. Like he partnered with Microsoft back in the day, but Microsoft bought out the company. It eventually changed to remain as MSNBC, but then since Comcast split with the cable networks along the same time that he originally was Benco, but now Versant. But MSNBC changed to MS Now. Like I mean, MS Now that made no sense. The name was look, MS was pretty much original name. That like Microsoft Now. Not, Microsoft was still owning the company, but that made no sense. It might be a shareholder. Like I know MS Now, like Microsoft Now. That made no sense. This should be on the website, not on TV station. Anyway, according to reporting from Deadline, the first announced. So let's not any announce on MSNBC as well as the CNBC. We'll talk about in a second, in this minute or so. So let's do this. MSN. So let's do this. Reporting for Deadline. MSNBC will be rebranding as My Source News Superior Award or MS Now later this year as the network prepares to spin off from Comcast while they also will shared up the Peacock logo. The change announced on Monday, that was today, comes to MSNBC as the building its own news division as NBC News will no longer a sister outlet from the spin-offs. MSNBC and other Comcast cable networks will be part of a separate company, Versant, led by Mark Lazarus. It also will be a surprise the expenses that have been in the network will retain the name. It hasn't since 1996, but the explicit deemed that the retain the name will be great brand confusion with NBC News. Yeah, the reason that spun out because pretty much that the original name was pretty on game of joint venture with Microsoft and NBC. General Edredic was NBC's parent, former owner. The name is pretty much confusing NBC. That like the name. What about the CNBC where it will be changed to See Now? Like that's pretty much the business network, or rather changed to Visant Business Network channel. Like that made no sense. That name is pretty much like Visant and especially Comcast employees. Like they use this. Sorry about that. I'm youngin. To the that company. So but still, MSNBC President Rebecca Corden wrote the mirror about. We'll talk about it in a second. Um, screw this. A month today, during this time and accreditation, NBC and Universal decided that the art brand required a new separate entity. Of this decision now allows us with the set to the own course and asset of our independence as we continue to build our modern news gathering operation. Sorry, I'm young sometimes. Um, the future of our success is not tied with remaining with the NBC family and using Peacock as a part of our identity. While our name will be changing, who we are and what we do will not. Our committed to work and our audience will not cater from what the brand promise has been for 3 decades. Cooler wrote that rebranding would come with the broad-based marketing campaign unlike anything we have done in recent memory. The switch off to MS Now appeared to wave positioning itself on NBC while still retaining elements of the brand identity, as it already has been referred to it as MSN for short because since adopting now as a part of the name because MSN was like I know that then or like I said Microsoft routinely were still having shareholder of a corporate of the TV station MSNBC later MS Now, but even though it's not related to that name, the network is using a word that also used in the line outlets to entirety streaming ventures like including MSNBC News Now and HBO Now, although those are not part of the agreement. There's some risks they are making that name change as Warner Bros. Company experienced that or the rebrand of HBO Max to simply Max and only change it back again. Yeah. David Sassab is most hated media executive, and so Jennifer Salke, I mentioned in the last video. But I don't know, I don't trust. They destroy Warner Bros. Discovery, and it's so bad. This split too, and especially stock of Warner Bros. Discovery stock going down. It's a split of the cable networks now on the Discovery Global. So and the Assassin retained Warner Bros. Owner. So yeah, I don't trust them. In the recent on the recent episode of the Pipit podcast, Richard Madden, the network's top anchor, made the case of the network deleted itself itself from NBC News, noting that we are spun off of the huge standalone newly built news category operations that isn't designed spectacularly for our purposes and nothing else. We have an incredible lower, very large audience, and we use university, pun intended, um, platform on the device called the television, which is American use, despite media reports to the contrary. As a separate Menra, Lazarus wrote the MSCBN CNBC will be a name, will retain the name, nothing that as it stands for um, Kusura's news and business channel, but it too will be a new logo. This is not really because it could be similar what it with uh, this is because this is himself from NBC family because he had a new since the son was more different. Sports programming on USA Network and Golf Network will become together under the new brand moniker, the USA Sports. The road with the new logos for USA Sports and the Golf Network. And yes, USA will be also rebranded some point. As we all know, the Peacock's similarities with NBC Universal, and it was in simple that they just have decided to keep with the NBCU family. Lazarus wrote to his memoir. This gave it the opportunity to chart our own path forward and create this is identity brand identities and status of an independent news operation following the spin. MSNBC launched the joint venture with Microsoft and NBC with a special focus on the growing internet community in the mid 90s. Microsoft sold the stake in 2005 and then the channel was decided itself as a lineup of progressive opinion host. It's becoming the new Fox News, but of the company. Above the film division, MSNBC and later MS Now has hired figures including the Washington Post Carol Leon, Kathleen Rappin, and Jackie Allen, while Jacob Solarov, you probably known as was a former host of the now defunct YouTube Nation show where I was really loved. We're familiar with YouTube stuff and more different kind of related on YouTube, and it's more like a mostly different kind of content, including the science fiction essays and the stuff. Wong Hillot and Antonio Hildren, along others, those joined from NBC News. Lazarus Memon is below. Team. I'm a second. For the moment we announced from creation of Versant, we knew that would be mark the beginning of a new journey for us and our current iconic brands. Together, we have focused on building our individual identity and vision for the future while laying of the foundation of the continued growth and success of our business. To that end, few things for brands will be changed in coming months. As we know, the Peacock and its similarities with NBC Universal and it was so simple that we decided to keep with the NBCU family. This gives us the opportunity to chart our own path forward, create the distance and brand identities and establish independent news operation from the spin. This means we've designed in our new logos when the peacock was incorporated into the brand. In addition, MSNBC will debut a new name to accurate to the this is between the MSNBC and NBC News operations, while we retain the true mission and a community to audience. Each of the changes will go into the effect closer to our spin at the end of the year. More of each these lows changes below. Okay, my sources, news will appearing word MS Now. MSNBC News, MSNBC will unveil the new name for the network MS Now, which stands for My Source for News, Opinion, and Words, or My Source News, Opinion, Words is pretty much known without for and adding for and the in the name accurate. The name underscores the brand, the mission to serve as a destination for domestic and international breaking news into the best-in-class opinion journalism. MSNBC has been building forward toward this moment and welcome wave of the expected journalists to their news gallery operation. Most importantly, while the change will be different, the brand committed would to its audience would not change. MSNBC. In the second in 1989, CNBC. In the second since the second in 1989, CNBC, originally known as a considered news and business network, has delineated itself as the true leader, covering exclusively um, the global financing and business sector. CNBC will retain the name. It's the working new logo, which look back at the history to the not to the big deep expansion of the network. And I hope it's not because I think that they're working on this itself with NBC logo, but you know where it is. But I think we work in new logo at some point. And USA Sports, sport property on the USA Network and Golf Network will come together under the new brand moniker of USA Sports. Um, new logos of USA Sports and Golf Network, USA Network. I'm sorry, are well on the way. These new logos we aim to honor of USA Network's legacy in sport and entertainment, as well as in Golf Network's 30 plus years history as a TV home of golf. As an all the way not to the future, we look forward to unveil those two weeks to come. Entertainment. The brands within our entertainment portfolio will remain unchanged, with each holding as a unique place in the daily lives of audience. We by delivering distinct genre bending content and result debut with the viewers. Together, these networks play as a serious role in the shaping con- controversial tunes. Um, and will continue to evolve alongside their audience and remain as a vital part of everyday life. In addition, news sports engine, best known the technology serving thousands of youth sports organizations and more. We also redesign with its logo without peacock. The regulars the alphabet. Each of the best business will remain to through their deep change. Versant is a house of for our brand. Each with is RACC under their own, and we continue to do so by creating deeper connection for within our audience and identity opportunities for growth. Thank you for you do you and continue to do as we shape this bold new direction together. Mark Lasses. There's more Cooter memo also too. So all formally up what you made seen as already seen for Mark later this year. We taking a new name. MS Now, which stands for My Sources for News, Opinion, and the Word. Again, without for and then the word thing in the name accolade, but that's a no. The My Source News, Opinion, Word. That's a no. The new branding underscores our mission to serve of the destination of breaking news and the best-in-class opinion journalism as all roots inaugurate and report facts. I know the announcement will be met with the questions, and I want to acknowledge that for many of you who spend their years of decades here, it isn't hard to imagine the network by any other name. This was not a decision that was made quickly and without cynical debate. Over the last 8 years, we have worked with the untethered ourselves from NBC News and praised our independence under Versant. We hired dozens of first-rate reporters and newsrooms leader and have been recruited for nearly 100 roles across our new and nippled organize. We continue to supercharge our non-linear product, achieving rapid success on YouTube, TikTok, audio, digital live events, and more, while the aggressive derivative of direct-to-consumer product. During this time of transition, NBC Universal decided that the brand requires a new, separate identity. This decision now allows us to set our own course and assets of the independence as we continue um, we build um, our modern news strategy operation. The future of Sussex is not tied with the remain with the NBC family, and it uses a peacock as a part of the nativity. While our name will be changing, who we are and what we do will not, are committed to work, and our audience will not raving from what the brand promises has been for the 3 decades. In the conclusion of the brand relaunch, we will be making a significant investment in the broadband marketing campaign, unlike anything we have done in the recent melody. Planning is on the way in an important all hands meeting next week, where I will have more to share, more the news to have come that soon. Until then, we have millions of people who were about to on us to continue doing what they do the best. As I said on the first day, the most important job is to do show up for our audience, the community that is demanding on us now more ever than ever. Rebecca Pluter. So yeah, I think MS now was going to be more different than MSNBC. That's it really distance itself with the NBC and Universal family that they focus some more now the new under the Versant leadership from Mark Lasser's former Comcast executive was more workers like the news routine like the same news stories like Donald Trump and all that stuff. But we continue with every and CNBC was going to be a change like I said the CM now or something I don't know two nows that two ends that didn't work. But we're taking the CNBC. But another channels we remain on the remain as for the NBC News we retain on remain on the NBC Universal NBC News returning not MSNBC is pretty much over. But rather, they also the Warner Bros. Company was split of two companies, and latter was this cable network now on Discovery Global was pretty much the TNT was changed to Discovery DNT. That's pretty much the no name and it make no sense. But also CNN was routine the name, but MS Now was probably much the same thing. And also Paramount Skydance, the other hand, was pretty much not split up the cable networks. But if he did in the parallel universe, if Paramount Skydance split up the two companies, like similar what Viacom and CBS split, I think that I think it become the new return the new old name Paramount Viacom because of probably the cable networks to do. But yeah, I like they did with back in I think back in 2005 and 2019, 2006 and 2019 was pretty separate. But yeah, I hope it's not going to be happen. But like I said, Paramount kind of is not splitting cable networks off entirely. But still, I probably know that it's not going to be like Warner Bros. Discovery all over again because Paramount Skydance was fine. Okay, all because of David Ellison. So like I said, I know that I boycott Paramount Skydance before that, but unfortunately, that never happened because of reasons. So, especially except for the late show with Stephen Colbert because of late night TV programming are declining. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope to see what happens, and I got a mixed feeling. So there's an I pretty much the logo was isn't doesn't bad, but like this is a terrible logo. Like why you look straight from the Donald Trump newsletter channels like that make no sense. And in fact, my good buddy Jake Ali from Studio Jake made a tweet right here and said. Write your thoughts on the logo and changing say the Twin Tails called they want the France and color scheme back and yeah the looks different like this is a model design and see over simping logo that's pretty much familiar like this is not anyone like the 2010s and pretty much current decade like these changing designs logos are different but that made no sense it was it was a stupid decision they're like I don't know. This is pretty much the dumbest logo redesigns like did when years ago with Star that as per merged with now spread off to the companies like that. Also, and they got off a lifetime for logo and a few years ago that didn't work, and now replacement in current one that's familiar with the 2014 one, 2012, 2014 one, but is pretty much better. But unfortunately, that didn't work. I want to mention that during this time, my good friend Macy Lewis, who did a video on discontinue products like snacks and especially TV channels like something in news, kids program, and recent Iceberg, two parts, and later part three will come out later that year, I think. In a few weeks, I don't know. And then they announced on the YouTube community post to say breaking MSNBC will rebranding as My Source News appearing now as or MS Now later this year the network prepared to spin off from Comcast. And many people were like got mixed feelings and got negative. He said this, no, not MSNBC, or and the fact the HLL all of MSNBC um, is kind of surprising. Like, oh yeah, I don't mention that headline news Headline News, which is originally was spun off because of the part of the MSNBC, but now moved to actually belonged to Warner Bros. Discovery, but now it's split to two companies now belong to Discovery Global, and the CNN along with the HNN will remain. And also now rebrand, and many people were like, only watch the Shark Tank reruns, unless you think on CNBC. And Shark Tank was airing on ABC, so I probably got a lot of attention. And there's another one. Wow, that was dumb. And oh no, not him. And then oh boy, this it's a boring channel anyway. And what's next is CNBC. And then Lewis responds, CNBC name surprisingly has nothing to do with the NBC name. Before the channel was acquired by NBC, they stood for considered a news and business network. So I think this take, but their news the peacock. And that's also another comic book lasts a while. Yes, the name is staying. However, USA Networks and Golf Channel are combining their sport program to form USA Sport. Apparently, new logos will appear in the coming weeks. And then a lot of say and meh and yeah, I got it mixed me. And then also the next will be be just M like and then the follow up like UK TV channels the bin of UN channel name because the streamer become you. So that's when you know. And and there's a funny one. My source news appearing now is a certainly one of the back rolls occurrence of all time. Just call me my source then. Has the same ring to it. And then response, Miss now? Are you serious? Okay, I'm gonna talk about UK one of Sky News, but I would later on. So sad that MSNBC would now rebrand as MS Now to the spin off from Comcast now under the Versant brand. So I hope to see what happens. If you know, there's gonna be yet another the Trump related channel. Like this is become the new Fox News, but yeah, I know this is pretty much like Fox Corporation or something. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I hope to see what later this year. It's how it's going to be different. So yeah. But the guy, yeah, I think the mixed feelings. I got a mixed thoughts, but I don't like this design and something name. But we'll see. But the other side of that bad news, that Sky News decided to end the business no entirety because uh, business now business live program has come to the close on later this year on Sky News because the focus shift in the premium digital content on the 2030 strategy. So this is a pretty much in industry news, and it's from if you live in the UK, Sky News is a UK TV station news network was part of its previous Sky Broadcasting, now under the Comcast and the Sky Broadcasting Limited in UK. We're familiar with pretty much we're familiar with channels like Sky One and Sky Movies and now Sky Max and Sky Cinema, as well as channels like Sky History and Sky Sci-Fi and a lot of others, Sky Kids and a lot other, and some others. So that's when you know Sky was pretty much under the umbrella of Comcast, and I think that after the Versant brand spin off, like I think Sky Sci-Fi was might be shut down or maybe changed to just Sci-Fi as people were split with the remove Sky entirely this Sci-Fi, but I know. And again, for reporting for the line. Sky News has shut up shop in the dedicated business show for more than a decade. Employees in the Comcast-owned network were told on Monday today that business now will return later this year as a Sky News pivot to premium digital content on their 2030 strategy. And again, I think that the reason that they're related with the other business show like CNBC's network because it's split off for Comcast and to the Sun brand. So that's when you know that he decided to stop making business so permanent entirely. In the internal email from seen by Deadline, Jonathan Levy, Sky News managing director and executive editor, said business and com- economic content will continue to feature politically on our flashing TV shows and rolling breaking news coverage. We have spoken directly in with the effects this change, and I want to thank you then for the dedication to This Is Live over the years. Levy did not elaborate of a rather there is be a lot of job losses as a part of the decisions, and Sky News spokesperson declined to comment further. Business Now was previously known as the Ian King Live, well, a ripoff that is pretty much straight from uh, the ad what's it called Larry King Live. That's a ripoff. Like I know the CNN would yeah. I mean Sky News would continue could be a new Larry King Live. That made no sense. Anyway, until the presenter exit last year, the show was first launched in the 2014, but Sky News Diggity business output first back further to Jeff Landry Live, um, which launched in 2007. It was almost 10 years ago. So yeah, this is a sad news for Sky News and especially UK viewers. Like, yeah, like I mentioned, the spinoff, like the sound spinoff decision, like including the MS Now name change, had decided to move on, and so CNBC would move to the Versant brand after deal working with many decades from NBC family umbrella. So I think the continuation of Skyler's will might be shut down even is pretty much under the Comcast owned company and not Versant owned company by because I hope the business programming was probably not happening. Even CNBC was pretty much move on for NBC family since the spinoff. So I hope to see what happen if the show is going to be a final episode later this year. It's going to be a final program, but it's going to be a final episode or live podcasting of that. This is now programming, but we'll see if you prefer the set decision. So yeah, that concludes this video. Between this and that, so I'll probably related to the news content. So I hope we'll see what happens, but What happened to know the MS Now is going to be changed very soon, so we see what happens. But that's pretty much it. And give a shout out to Macy Lewis. He did a post that I mentioned. So he did a lot of videos on the defunct TV channels as well as in discontinued snacks and stuff. So go check it out. And Macy Lewis is right in the description. And let me know what you think. What are your thoughts of the MS Now rebrand? Do you love it? Hate it? Let me know. And that's pretty much it. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I see you in the next video. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.